Okay, I did the whole background and thought I was recording and I wasn't. So the backgrounds on these artist trading cards are a uh, mixture of Lucas Krill Studios Rosa and Mint. And I like this paint because it's got a little bit more texture to it uh, than the Nova Color paints, which tend to be a looser, more highly pigmented paint. But I'm really enjoying the body and the texture that this gets. So you can see the brush strokes in this if we look. And they hold their shape a little bit better, which I kind of like. So I'm doing these were a request for a friend who had seen my the cards that I did that were based on the ballet dancer flower painting. So she asked me if I would make one for her, and I decided I would just make a whole nother series of them. So here we go. First, I'm just going to pull in this. So each flower has a darker background. And the flowers literally will have 4 or 5 layers of colors and petals. And as I build the layers up, they will change colors slightly. This is I don't even think it has a name on it. It's a brush that I got at Jerry's Artorama, and it's similar to the Chinese calligraphy brushes, but I think I got it in the watercolor section. But I really like the way it holds paint, and the brush stays, it stays really in great condition, even though I don't take the best care of my brushes. So that's why I like using this for this. I actually have a bigger one and a smaller one. Let's see. Let's add a little white to this, and we'll just come back and do some highlighting through here. So I have just added a little bit of white to the magenta, and it just comes in and gives it a little bit of depth. But as we build up the layers, each layer will get progressively, I want to say lighter, and it usually is lighter. But sometimes it's just a matter of getting a little bit different color. This also is a little bit more opaque. brain, kind of illustrate each petal here. Alright. I really don't wait for these to dry so much, but I just keep adding on layers. Alright, a lot more pink here. Alright, and now I'm just going to start bringing this down, just not quite as much. Now it should be getting lighter, maybe varying tone a little bit. And get rid of some of that paint. Probably need to let these dry a little bit because I'm just mixing the paint in with the other paint right now. Alright, let me let that rest and dry a little bit. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to continue just making lighter and lighter layers. This is not totally dry, but it is a little bit drier. And you will notice a lot of the strokes, the paint is not completely mixed, so it gives kind of an effect of the one stroke with some highlighting and some darker shadows. It's gonna be a jolly Christmas. And do. You may I have one of those Christmas songs stuck in my brain. I want to make this a little bit rounder up here. See, that one didn't get to be quite lighter. It's actually a little darker than the last one, but that's okay. Nope. Everybody knows. Alright. So that's the next layer. Now each layer should be getting progressively lighter. And Christmas. So people always ask me why I don't keep the sound on when I do these, and I'm just going to tell you, number one, I usually the TV's usually on because Randy's in and out, and when he comes in, he turns the TV on. And I am not very good at talking while I'm working, so there's a lot of dead space in here. And you really don't want to hear me sing. Okay, I'm liking the way these are looking. I think that I'm going to come in and just put my little thing at the top. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. Sometimes I do these more of a brown, but I guess I do have some brownish orange on my palette, but I'm going to stick with pink for these, or magenta. The magenta is a Nova color paint, and you can see how dark and pigmented it is. Alright, now I'm going to let that dry a little bit. These flowers remind me of Echinacea or Gaillardia, only in a pink instead of an orange and rust color. Alright, so there's those. Now I need to do a stamen, or a pet, not a stamen, but a stem. We're going to do just down like that, and like this, and maybe one going off like that, and one going this way, and one going that way. And when I do a big painting of these, I generally do these with, they just are from the drips of the paint that I put on it when I start. And it drips down, but these are flat and they don't drip. So I've got them all laid out here. We're going to let this sit for a little while, and then I'll go back in maybe with a pencil and do a little bit more. And I may go in and put another layer of paint on them. Some of them are still a little dark. And I may not. It just depends on what they look like when they're done. But I'll do the final details and then they will be ready to go.